Kaspa has broken out of this blue line. What a good day. What a beautiful day, finally. It's actually given us some sign of life, and it's in this uptrend, but it's compressing. And I've seen this same compression pattern on Tesla a few weeks ago before I actually panicked so. But it looks positive. And I know we can get these weekly candles or daily candles and it can push lower, but hopefully this is a sign of things to come, because it is a higher high currently. It's a higher high. Please just flip it. And there's actually big players who are looking at Kaspa and speaking about Kaspa at the moment. I don't know if they're buying, but they're actually saying it's better than Bitcoin. That's what they've said themselves. Now, I'd say Kaspa's better than Bitcoin, it's better than Solana, and it's better than Ethereum. Also for the fact that it can transact very quickly, and we've noticed that recently. A lot of transactions per second. It seems like someone's testing out these transactions with smart contracts looming and it's a proof of work. It's almost perfect. It's completely decentralized. I've used the transactions myself to send it to a Tangent wallet. And it looks like it wants to push higher on the daily RSI and also the weekly RSI. Of course, all of this is garbage if the price doesn't pump, which is why I trade trend lines. So if it breaks this trend line here and it goes lower, maybe to the 80 cent region, I will be out of the trade. Then I'll hop back in once we see another breakout, which we've seen today. Now, it is a similar chart to something like this. It has sort of bottomed out. Omikami is an option. Kaspa's an option. You don't want to be buying at the highs here. You want to buy low and you want to sell high. And also, it's reminding me, and this is very good because it is reclaiming and moving upwards. It's giving you that upwards momentum. It's not completely bottomed out, because some of them can go to zero. It's difficult to tell. Everyone is bullish for the outcome of the FOMC meeting, and I am not. I am not either. I can be wrong, but let's see in 7 to 14 days who is right. I'm not the kind of influencer that's always screaming to the moon. Real. But there is a cup and handle formation on the total 3. So things like Kaspa, things like other cryptos, alts, could be pumping hard soon. Especially with dominance breaking down from this massive rising wedge. Rethink proof of work. Look at this. Cas has processed 8 million transactions in the last 24 hours. Rethink proof of work, honestly. With a massive Twitter following as well. With a massive Twitter following, with constant tweets. Cas is the most bullish sentiment on CoinMarketCap. Simple as that. It's the most bullish. It hasn't pumped yet. It's down 50% on the year, but the chart looks beautiful. I could be wrong. This could go to 1 cent, but the signs are looking up. ETH, what the heck have I clicked there? ETH has had 7 pullbacks of 30 to 70%. If history repeats, that's a move coming that most won't be ready for. We're not here to scare you. We're here to help you understand it before it happens again. Because if they take the time with the rate cuts, and there is a crash after the FOMC, for ETH, for example, to 3k, I'll probably be loading my Kaspa bags. We shall see. Depends how scared I get. The Fed will cut rates in just 2 days. JP Morgan and other big analysts are expecting a market dump before reversal. Imagine if people are expecting it though, it might just pump. Because everyone's expecting a dump. 104k before reversal. Bitcoin will dump towards the 92k, which also has the CME gap before reversal and a new all-time high. Please bring this into fruition, because I get cheap Kaspa. Please. I need a dump. I'd also buy Bitcoin at them levels. Today marks 3 years since the Ethereum merge. Kaspa's trolling as well. Kaspa knows it's better, let's be honest. They'll keep printing money, and by July 2026, Kaspa will be less inflationary than BTC. 95% mined. The hardest money wins, and Kas is unquestionably stateless money that is getting harder and harder to get. What a beautiful chart. It's literally digital silver. I'm so bullish on silver. Please do a madness, Kaspa. What is that name, by the way? It's created by Summit Bum. Kas solves the blockchain trilemma. Decentralized, secure, and scalable. All on base layer whilst using proof of work. Kaspa solves the security budget issue Bitcoin will face in 20 to 12 years. Study Kaspa. Over the last 24 hours, Kaspa has flawlessly handled 4.5 million transactions, averaging 52 transactions per second during that time frame. I think it can actually do 127 transactions per second. Final blow off top incoming. It's crazy how quiet everyone is. Where is it's true. You're not hearing of anything at the moment. Everybody's silent, and that's exactly what we want. Retail is not here yet. Well, we are retail, but the proper retail. Yes, Base is exploring a network token. Coinbase actually stooping that low. That's why you can't actually trust anybody, because everybody lies in this space. They said they'd never make a token, but now they're exploring it, eh? Let's see.
As we started pulling our head up from that and thinking about the next chapter, 2026 and beyond, we've asked ourselves, we're at tens of millions of people today. What does it look like for Base to meet for everyone on a global scale, for billions of people? And we didn't know all the answers, but we zeroed in on a few things. The first is that we believe that Base has to be a decentralized network. And we made good progress on this. Base is stage 1 today, but we also have a lot more work to do. Second, we believe at our core that builders, that creators, that the people participating in the economy have to be aligned participants. Because the economy can only work if we're the ones shaping it and benefiting from it. And then finally, we know that we need to keep pushing the boundaries of what we can do with crypto. Because the only way we're going to have this positive impact on the world is if we're willing to push boundaries and be creative and figure out how these new tools can unlock new systems for all of us. And so with those as the North Stars, we're going to be exploring a network token for Base.
Look how gassed he is, bro. What a rat. Not him, but just Base in general. They said they'd never make a token. That's how you know you get lied to by everyone in this space. And as I actually speak, Bitcoin and Ethereum is dumping. I think Ethereum is having a madness. It's dumping hard, bro. And it looks like there's a rising wedge. It will probably pump after this. But leading up to the FOMC meeting, due to the uncertainty, there is a downwards trend that is forming, which could actually cause the Kaspa price to push lower, which is a madness, because we might get cheaper Kaspa. Yeah, this doesn't look good, I'm going to be honest. We'll see how it plays out, but it looks like it wants to properly bottom out on the RSI. Breaking. US Treasury Secretary Bessent says the next round of US-China trade talks could result in another 90-day tariff pause. This would be the third straight pause for a total of 270 days. His tariffs are so annoying, bruh. It's actually affecting my other trades. Kaspa looks strong. Two bullish scenarios are forming after the breakout of the 2-month trend line. First scenario, after the breakout, finding support around the current price area and continuing upward. Second scenario, a deeper correction into buy zone 2, which is at about 7 point. I'd love to buy at that region. Finding support there and then continuing upward. If these scenarios don't hold, we may see an even deeper correction, at which point we'll need to reassess the situation. Until then, study Kaspa. That's why it's important, because it hasn't fully bottomed out yet and we don't know how low it's going to go. It may go below 5 cents, who knows. But if you trade trend lines and then you're looking at this price right here and you're looking at this, it's actually broken the trend line and the 4-hourly. But if you look at the new one based on the breakout and you look at the trend line here, you don't really want it to go too much lower than where it is now, because if it does, then you want to get out of that trade, man, until you see some more confirmation later.
If you hold crypto, stop scrolling because you want to hear this. This week, everything in crypto is about to change. The Federal Reserve is expected to finally start cutting interest rates. Donald Trump has been demanding that the Fed cut interest rates for months. He even threatened to somehow fire Jerome Powell, the chair of the Fed. And the United States is actually very behind in cutting rates because the entire world has practically cut rates over a year ago. The European Central Bank, the Bank of England, literally everyone has cut rates except for America. And when interest rates get cut, that is so bullish for crypto. Because when interest rates are cut, it means more liquidity sloshing around in the market. And that liquidity flows into risk on assets like crypto, essentially pumping up the entire market. Now, we have been in a crypto bull run for nearly 2 years, and I've always said that it's going to come to an end very soon towards the end of 2025. But I do believe we are expecting one last blow off top. And interest rates getting cut is essentially the ignition. It's the fire to spark the final blow off top. Q4 is typically extremely bullish in a bull run year, so the next few months, the next few weeks are looking extremely promising. This is actually a massive opportunity for you, and I don't want you to mess this up. You're getting one last opportunity to cash out and really make life-changing money in crypto. As interest rates get cut and the market starts to heat up and the final blow off top arrives, make sure to take profits. You don't want to be left holding the bag. If you
That's the only good advice she gives, and that's the most important advice, to be honest. Google all-time highs. Crazy talk. Most people don't realize how much of price action works because we think it does. This guy's made 100 million, by the way. Support, resistance, fib levels, breakouts, they're not law of nature as much as they are beliefs, and when enough traders believe the same thing, they make it true. That's the illusion of technical analysis. It's not predictive, it's performative. This ain't predictive, but everybody believes in it. We all read from the same textbook, so we all react in the same way. Price moves, not from prophecy, but from crowd choreography. But here's the twist. The apex predator knows this. They know where you long, where you'll panic, where you'll feel confirmation. Like I just did there, and now it's actually pushed up a little bit. It's mad. And they use the shared knowledge against you, not to follow the rules, but to exploit your certainty in them. This game isn't about being right, it's about understanding who benefits when everyone thinks they're right. Price doesn't move on truth, it moves on belief, and belief is the easiest thing in the world to manipulate. Wow. Bro, that is a tweet and a half. You need to break that down. The Fed is likely to cut interest rates this week. Here's what it'll mean for crypto. Cheaper money, more liquidity, equity pump, Bitcoin leads, altcoin season finally arrives. This is the blow off top that we were waiting for. And look, Kaspa holders, listen to this.
Because no, I'm talking about like a disruptive technology. Let's just say Kaspa, right, is an example of that. It's probably 2 times better than Bitcoin.
The money.
Right? Their Kaspa coin, right? It's 2 times better than Bitcoin. But is it really worth, right, risking your wealth on something that's only a 2x better, right? That's only twice as better than Bitcoin? Probably not. Right?
So if it's twice as better as Bitcoin, but it's nowhere near the market cap, that just shows that there's room to fill, no? That's how I look at it. And it's just better. Volatile week ahead, Fed rate cut decision, initial jobless claims, 4.9 trillion options expiry. If Powell hints of more rate cuts, also will explode. If talking about options expiry, this could be short-term bearish. Bruh, do us a favour, bruh. We've been going through so much pain, my dog. Look at the transactions processed on Kaspa, man. Kaspa just surpassed Bitcoin and ETH in daily transactions combined. You heard it right, it's managed such an incredible milestone without sacrificing its decentralization and security, all while being countless of X's cheaper and faster, man. What even is the incentive to use any other layer ones for peer-to-peer transaction? There isn't. Kaspa's the best. And we're entering phase 3, which is large cap. I'd say Kaspa's like a medium cap. So let's see. All season is cancelled. It just dropped 271. I don't know if it's over, but it could well be because we got a similar thing there. I don't want to rule out anything. But look at how many transactions are going on Kaspa. Look at this. Constantly, bro. And it can actually handle it, unlike Solana, bro. The amount of cryptocurrency pain I've endured due to the weight in this market because of these disgusting politicians who take their sweet time is unbelievable. This is where we are in the markets in the video below. No pain, not gain, same pattern. This video is jokes. Yeah, that's jokes, bruh. To be fair, you know, with my Kaspa one, I'm going to close it depending on how this price action moves. If I don't see upwards momentum, I'm going to have to get out of the trade and then wait till this 8 cent region, and then I'll probably rebuy. Maybe even at the 7.2 region, we'll see. We will see. I still really like the project, and every time I hold a bit for sure, but that's in my stack or my tangent. I'm just talking about trading as well, because I like to trade it too. The stock market is incredibly hot. Since 1975, there's only been 6 times where the S&P rose 30% or more in 5 months. It's a madness, bruh. But remember, this is the rate cuts part, and apparently, this is where we're going. So if we're going to around that 104 region, even 92k, which hopefully we see, everyone will think it's over, and that is when, usually, you get extreme fear, which is the best time to buy crypto. Because I don't think we're in extreme fear at the moment. We're in neutral. So we still got a little bit to go. Give us that extreme fear one last time, then blast off, man, please.